following humanity's eternal love affair with the stars above. Feel yourself sinking deeper into comfort, your body releasing the weight of the day as we prepare to float weightlessly through the cosmos. Each breath you take connects you to every stargazer who ever lived, every dreamer who looked up at the night sky and wondered what lay beyond the thin veil of atmosphere that cradles our world. Let the soft whisper of cosmic winds carry you now as we begin our peaceful journey through the ages, from the first curious eyes that turned skyward to the infinite possibilities that stretch before us in the star-scattered future. Rest your mind, gentle traveler, and let the story of space unfold like a lullaby written in starlight. Chapter 1. The First Dreamers. Ancient eyes upon the eternal night. In the beginning, when the world was young and wild, before cities cast their glow against the darkness, the night sky opened like a vast book written in points of light. Our earliest ancestors, wrapped in animal skins around crackling fires, would lean back and lose themselves in the infinite cathedral above. Imagine, if you will, those first humans stepping out of their caves on clear, windless nights. The Milky Way stretched across the heavens like a ghostly river, so bright and close it seemed they could reach up and trail their fingers through its luminous waters. There were no streetlights to dim the wonder, no pollution to veil the cosmic dance. The stars pressed down upon them with an intimacy we can barely comprehend today. These ancient dreamers saw shapes in the scattered lights above, great bears and hunting dogs, warriors and princesses, stories told in silver threads across the velvet darkness. The constellations became their first maps, their earliest calendars, their connection to something vast and mysterious beyond the boundaries of their small, earthbound lives. The moon, that faithful companion, waxed and waned in its eternal cycle, teaching them about time's passage. They noticed how it pulled the tides, how it seemed to influence the growth of plants and the behavior of animals. Some nights it hung like a thin silver crescent. Other nights it bloomed full and round, casting everything in gentle, pearl-like light that transformed the familiar world into something magical and strange. As seasons turned and generations passed, these patient observers began to notice patterns. Certain stars appeared and disappeared with the changing seasons. The sun traced its path across the sky, sometimes high and warm, sometimes low and distant. They learned to read these celestial signs like we might read a book, finding in them guidance for when to plant crops, when to migrate, when to prepare for winter's approach. The brightest planets wandered among the fixed stars like celestial shepherds, following their own mysterious paths. Venus appeared as both the morning star, herald of dawn, and the evening star, the last light to fade into twilight. Mars glowed red as ember light, sometimes bright, sometimes dim, always fascinating in its crimson mystery. In caves and on canyon walls, these early astronomers left their marks: circles and spirals, star maps, and lunar calendars carved in stone. Their art reveals their wonder, their deep connection to the rhythms of sky and earth. They were the first space travelers, journeying not in ships of metal and fire, but in dreams and imagination, their spirits soaring up through the atmosphere to dance among the stars they loved. Feel yourself now like one of these ancient stargazers, lying on your back in the soft grass of some long ago meadow, The night air is warm and still, filled with the gentle sounds of crickets and distant waves. Above you, the stars shine with a clarity that takes your breath away. Each one a sun in its own right. Each one calling to something deep within your soul. Let your breathing slow and deepen as you imagine the weight of earth beneath you and the vast expanse of space above. You are held safely between these two infinities, cradled in the present moment, while your mind begins to drift like a feather on celestial winds. The first dreamers knew something we sometimes forget in our bright, busy world, that we are part of something much larger than ourselves, connected by invisible threads to every star in the sky. Tonight, as sleep begins to call to you like a gentle tide, remember that you carry within you the same wonder, the same longing to touch the infinite that moved our ancestors to reach up toward the light. Close your eyes now and feel that ancient connection, that timeless bond between earth and sky. The stars are watching over you as they watched over countless generations before, constant in their silent vigil, patient in their eternal dance. Rest now, peaceful traveler, as we prepare to journey deeper into the cosmic story that connects us all. Chapter 2: The Wisdom Keepers. When stars became science. As dawn breaks gently over our cosmic story, we find ourselves drifting forward through time, like leaves carried on a slow, meandering stream. The centuries flow past us in soft whispers, bringing us to lands where great civilizations rose like flowers in the desert, their minds turning skyward with new understanding and precision. Let your breathing remain slow and steady as we visit the ancient temples of Babylon, where priest astronomers climbed ziggurats that reached towards heaven like stone mountains. These patient watchers spent their nights on high towers, carefully recording every movement of the celestial sphere. Night after night, year after year, they traced the paths of planets with the dedication of lovers, following their beloved's every gesture. The Babylonians were the first to divide the sky into the 12 houses of the zodiac, creating a celestial calendar that still influences us today. They predicted eclipses with stunning accuracy, understanding that these dramatic moments, when the moon passed before the sun, were not omens of doom, but natural clockwork of cosmic precision. Their clay tablets, covered in cuneiform script, preserved observations that spanned centuries, humanity's first scientific journals, written in symbols, pressed into earth and fired into permanence. Drift now, gentle dreamer, across the Mediterranean to the golden sands of Egypt, where the pyramids rose like crystalline monuments to mathematical perfection. The ancient Egyptians aligned their greatest monuments to the stars with breathtaking precision, understanding that their pharaoh's journey to the afterlife would follow the same paths taken by the sun and stars across the heavens. They charted the flooding of the Nile by watching Sirius, the brightest star in the night sky, noting how its heliacal rising, its first appearance before dawn after months of absence, coincided with the life-giving flood that made their desert bloom. Their calendar of 365 days was one of humanity's first attempts to synchronize earthly life with celestial rhythms, recognizing that we are all participants in the same cosmic dance. Feel the warm desert wind carrying you now across time and space to ancient Greece, where philosophy and stargazing merged into something beautiful and profound. Here, great minds like Aristotle and Ptolemy, didn't just observe the heavens. They dreamed of understanding them, of finding the mathematical music that governed the spheres. The Greeks gave us the word planet, meaning wanderer, for those bright lights that refuse to stay fixed in their positions among the stars. They developed the astrolabe, that elegant bronze calculator that brought the movements of the heavens down to human scale, allowing navigators to find their way across dark seas by reading the positions of familiar stars. Eratosthenes, working in the Great Library of Alexandria, calculated the circumference of Earth using nothing but shadows and geometry, proving that our world was round long before anyone could see it from space. His method was elegant in its simplicity, measuring shadows in two different cities at the same time, then using the angle of difference to calculate the curve of the world beneath his feet. Let your mind drift eastward now, carried on trade winds toward the Americas, where Maya astronomers created calendars of stunning complexity and accuracy. Deep in rainforest cities, pre-scientists tracked Venus through its cycles with precision that wouldn't be matched for centuries. They understood that Venus, Mars, and the other planets were worlds like our own, following predictable paths through space and in cosmic choreography of mathematical beauty. The Maya long count calendar tracked time in cycles so vast they stretch far beyond recorded history, recognizing that the universe operates on scales that dwarf human experience. Their codices, painted on bark paper, preserved astronomical knowledge with artistic beauty that makes each page a meditation on the intersection of science and sacred wonder. In China, astronomers were mapping the sky with equal dedication, dividing the heavens into 28 lunar mansions and recording supernovas, those dramatic stellar explosions that briefly outshine entire galaxies. Chinese observers noted Halley's Comet. Centuries before, it was discovered in the West, understanding that these spectacular visitors returned on predictable schedules, part of the same cosmic clockwork that governed everything from seasons to tides. The Islamic Golden Age brought us astronomers whose names still grace the stars: Aldebaran, Altair, Vega, Rigel, Arabic words that connect us to scholars who preserved and expanded Greek learning while Europe slept through its dark ages. In observatories from Baghdad to Cordoba, these dedicated stargazers refined instruments, improved calculations, and dreamed of touching the infinite precision they saw reflected in the night sky. As these civilizations flourished and faded like seasons in an eternal year, each contributed its own verse to humanity's growing song of cosmic understanding. They learned to read the sky like a book, to find meaning in the movements of lights that seemed impossibly distant, yet intimately connected to life on Earth. Feel yourself now as one of these ancient scholars, sitting in a moonlit observatory, surrounded by astrolabes and star charts, armillary spheres, and careful calculations. The night air is cool and clear, filled with the soft scratch of reed pens on papyrus and the gentle whisper of pages turning. Above you, the stars wheel through their ancient patterns, patient teachers in a classroom that spans the cosmos. Let your breathing slow and deepen as you absorb the peace of this timeless scene. The wisdom keepers of old understood something profound, that the universe is not chaos, but symphony, not accident, but design, not separate from us, but intimately connected to every breath we take and every dream we dream. Rest now in this ancient wisdom, gentle traveler, as sleep begins to call like a distant melody. The stars that guided those first astronomers are the same stars that shine down on you tonight, constant in their courses, faithful in their light. Let their eternal presence comfort you as we prepare to journey forward through time, following humanity's growing understanding of the cosmos that cradles us all. Chapter 3: The Eye of Heaven opens. Renaissance dreams and the first true glimpse. Time flows like honey now, sweet and golden, carrying us forward through the centuries on currents of discovery and wonder. The medieval world dissolves around us like morning mist, revealing the bright dawn of the Renaissance, when human curiosity awakened from its long slumber and turned once again toward the infinite questions written in starlight. Let yourself drift peacefully into this age of awakening, where artists and scientists were often the same people, where beauty and truth dance together in perfect harmony. The night sky, which had been observed for millennia with nothing but patient eyes, was about to reveal secrets hidden since the beginning of time. In a small Italian town, as gentle evening breezes carry the scent of olive groves and distant seas, an aging lens grinder named Galileo Galilei lifts a curious contraption to his eye. It's 1609, and this simple tube, containing 2 pieces of carefully ground glass, is about to change everything humanity thought it knew about its place in the cosmos. Feel the soft Italian twilight settling around you as we watch this pivotal moment unfold like a flower, opening to moonlight. Galileo points his primitive telescope, he calls it a spyglass, toward the moon, and suddenly the familiar silver disk transforms before his wondering eyes. No longer is it a smooth, perfect sphere, as philosophers had claimed for centuries. Instead, it reveals itself as a world of mountains and valleys, craters and plains, as real and rugged as the earth beneath his feet. The moon, humanity's faithful companion since the first eyes looked skyward, suddenly becomes humanity's first alien world, mapped and studied with the loving attention of an explorer discovering new continents. Galileo draws what he sees, his sketches preserving for posterity that first moment when another world revealed its face to human curiosity. But the moon is only the beginning. Night after night, Galileo returns to his rooftop observatory, and each observation brings new wonders that challenge everything the ancient authorities had taught. When he turns his telescope toward Jupiter, that bright wandering star becomes a miniature solar system, attended by 4 moons of its own, the Medicean stars, as he diplomatically names them, though history will remember them as the Galilean satellites. Here, dancing around distant Jupiter is proof that not everything in the universe revolves around Earth. These tiny lights, invisible to the naked eye, but clear as crystal through his lens, follow their own orbital ballet around their giant parent, just as Copernicus had dared to suggest the Earth might orbit the sun. Let your breathing slow and deepen as we watch Venus through Galileo's telescope, seeing it change phases like our moon, sometimes a thin crescent, sometimes gibbous, sometimes full, proving that it orbits the sun, not the Earth. The old geocentric universe, which had placed humanity at the center of creation, begins to dissolve like a beautiful dream, giving way to an even more beautiful reality. The Milky Way, that ghostly river of light that arcs across dark skies, reveals itself through the telescope as countless individual stars, each one a sun perhaps attended by its own family of worlds. The universe, already vast beyond human comprehension, suddenly becomes vastly more vast, populated with more stars than there are grains of sand on all the beaches of Earth. Feel yourself drifting forward through time now, carried on the gentle currents of discovery as telescope design improves and human understanding grows. In England, Isaac Newton gazes up at the night sky and sees not just beauty, but mathematical relationships that govern everything from falling apples to the orbital dance of planets. Newton's laws of motion and universal gravitation reveal the cosmos as a vast clockwork of elegant precision, where the same forces that bring objects tumbling to Earth keep the moon in its orbit and guide comets through their long, elliptical journeys around the sun. The universe becomes comprehensible, governed by mathematical principles that human minds can grasp and predict. The night sky transforms from a source of wonder and mystery into a laboratory where theories can be tested and natural laws discovered. Comets, once feared as omens of disaster, become predictable visitors following precise orbital paths. Halley's Comet, tracked through its 76-year cycle, demonstrates that even the most spectacular, celestial events follow natural law rather than supernatural whim. Astronomers like William Herschel push the boundaries of observation ever further, building larger and more powerful telescopes that reveal nebulae, fuzzy patches of light that might be distant star clusters or something even more exotic. Herschel discovers new planets, like Uranus, proving that our solar system extends far beyond the worlds known to the ancients. Caroline Herschel, working alongside her brother, becomes one of the first women to contribute directly to astronomical discovery, finding comets and cataloging stars with the same passion that drives all those who seek to understand the cosmos. The sky belongs not to any single person or culture, but to all humanity, to anyone willing to look up and wonder. As centuries pass like slow, peaceful breaths, photography begins to capture what the eye sees through telescopes, preserving images of celestial objects for detailed study. Spectroscopy reveals that distant stars are made of the same elements found on Earth: hydrogen, helium, carbon, iron, proving that the entire universe shares a common chemistry, a common origin, a common destiny. The nebulae, and that appeared as smudges of light in early telescopes, resolve into spiral galaxies, island universes containing billions of stars, scattered through space at distances so vast that their light takes millions of years to reach us. We are not just citizens of Earth, or even of the solar system, but of a galaxy among countless galaxies in an expanding universe of unimaginable size and beauty. Feel yourself now as one of these patient astronomers, spending long, peaceful nights in an observatory dome, watching the sky wheel slowly overhead. The telescope beside you is your window into infinity, your means of touching worlds that lie beyond the reach of any earthly journey. Each photon of starlight that enters your eye has traveled for years or centuries, or millennia to reach you, carrying information about distant suns and worlds that existed when your ancestors were young. Let the profound peace of this realization settle over you like a gentle blanket. You are connected to every star in the sky by threads of light and physics, chemistry and time. The iron in your blood was forged in the heart of an ancient star that died billions of years ago, scattering its elements into space where they eventually became part of the solar nebula that gave birth to Earth and all life upon it. Rest now in this cosmic connection, gentle dreamer, as sleep begins to call, like the distant music of the spheres. The telescopes that opened human eyes to the true nature of the universe continue their patient vigil, constantly expanding our understanding of the cosmos that is our home. Tonight, as you drift toward dreams, you carry within you all the wonder of those first moments when the sky revealed its secrets to curious human eyes. Chapter 4: The Great Awakening. When dreams took flight, the gentle rhythm of cosmic time carries us forward now, like a lullaby sung by the spheres themselves, bringing us to an age when humanity's ancient dreams of touching the stars began to stir from the realm of fantasy into the bright possibility of reality. Let yourself drift peacefully into the 20th century, when the night sky became not just something to observe, but something to reach toward with rockets and dreams. Feel the excitement of this dawning space age settling around you, like the soft light of a new morning. The year is 1957, and the world is about to change forever. In a secret facility in the Soviet Union, engineers and dreamers are putting the finishing touches on a small, spherical satellite no larger than a beach ball, gleaming silver in the fluorescent lights of the assembly room. On October 4th, 1957, as evening stars begin to appear in the darkening sky, a powerful rocket rises from the steppes of Kazakhstan with a roar that seems to shake the very foundations of the Earth. Sputnik, meaning traveling companion in Russian, separates from its booster and begins its orbital dance around our planet, becoming humanity's first artificial star. Let your breathing slow and deepen as you imagine that historic moment when Sputnik's radio began transmitting its simple beep 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 signal to the world below. Ham radio operators around the globe turned their antennas skyward and heard, for the first time, the voice of human technology speaking from the void of space. The sound was hauntingly beautiful in its simplicity, a metallic heartbeat broadcasting humanity's first message from beyond the atmosphere. People stepped out of their homes that night, searching the sky for a moving star that would mark the passage of their species' first ambassador to the cosmos. Children were lifted onto their fathers' shoulders, mothers pointed toward the horizon, and all of humanity shared a moment of profound wonder as Sputnik traced its path among the eternal constellations. The space race had begun, and with it, a new chapter in the story of human dreams made manifest. Feel yourself drifting forward through time, carried on currents of ambition and discovery. As both the Soviet Union and the United States pour their energies into the challenge of space exploration. Luna 2 crashes into the moon in 1959, the first human-made object to reach another world. Luna 3 swings around the moon's far side and transmits back the first photographs of that hidden hemisphere, revealing a landscape no human eye had ever seen. A face of our closest neighbor that had remained mysterious since time began. But it is the human journey that captures the world's imagination most deeply. On April 12th, 1961, as spring flowers bloom across the Soviet countryside, a young pilot named Yuri Gagarin settles into the cramped capsule of Vostok 1, his heart beating with the rhythm of all human dreams of flight. The rocket ignites with tremendous power, and Gagarin becomes the first human being to slip free of Earth's gravitational embrace. As his spacecraft rises above the atmosphere, He looks down upon our planet from a perspective no human has ever shared, seeing Earth as a blue marble suspended in the infinite black of space, beautiful and fragile and alone. I see Earth. It is so beautiful. Gagarin radios back to ground control, his voice carrying across the void the wonder and emotion of humanity's first space traveler. In that moment, he speaks for all of us, expressing the awe that comes from seeing our world as it truly is, not the center of the universe, but a precious oasis of life in the cosmic deep. Let yourself float alongside Gagarin in that historic moment, feeling the weightlessness of space, the profound silence broken only by the hum of life support systems, and the occasional crackle of radio communication. Below you, Earth turns slowly in its ancient rhythm, showing you continents and oceans, storm systems and aurora, the thin blue line of atmosphere that protects all life from the vacuum of space. The achievements come faster now, like waves building towards some cosmic shore. Valentina Tereshkova becomes the first woman in space, proving that the cosmos belongs to all humanity, not just to men. Alexei Leonov opens his spacecraft's hatch and steps out into the void for humanity's first spacewalk, floating free against the star-filled backdrop of infinity. In America, the Mercury and Gemini programs build toward the ultimate dream, landing humans on the moon and returning them safely to Earth. The goal seems impossibly ambitious, yet step by step, mission by mission, the technology and techniques are developed, tested, and perfected. Feel the mounting excitement as we approach July 1969, when the ancient dream of touching the moon becomes reality. Apollo 11 sits on its launch pad at Kennedy Space Center, a towering monument to human ingenuity and determination. Its Saturn V rocket containing more power than all the explosives used in World War II. Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins settle into their spacecraft as dawn breaks over the Florida coast. The countdown proceeds with mechanical precision, each second bringing humanity closer to its greatest adventure. At 9:32 a.m. on July 16th, 1969, the Saturn V ignites with a roar that can be heard for miles, rising slowly at first, then faster and faster, until it becomes a brilliant star climbing towards space. 3 days later, as the world holds its breath, the lunar module Eagle separates from the command module and begins its descent toward the moon's surface. Armstrong and Aldrin guide their fragile craft down through the lunar sky, over ancient craters and mountains, until finally, the words that will echo through history crackle across the radio. The Eagle has landed. Let yourself drift down with them now, feeling the strange, gentle pull of lunar gravity, 1/6 that of Earth. The moon's surface stretches around you, gray and ancient and utterly silent, marked by the footprints of billions of years of cosmic bombardment. This is the world that has watched over Earth since the beginning. And now, finally, Earth's children have come to visit. When Armstrong opens the hatch and climbs down the ladder to place the first human footprint on an alien world, he speaks words that capture the significance of the moment. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. In that instant, humanity becomes a spacefaring species, no longer bound to a single world, but free to explore the cosmos that gave us birth. Feel the profound peace and accomplishment of that moment as two humans plant a flag and collect samples from a world 240,000 miles from home. The moon, which had inspired poets and lovers, scientists and dreamers for all of human history, now bears the footprints of its visitors, marks that will remain unchanged for millions of years in the airless lunar environment. 6 more Apollo missions follow, each one expanding our knowledge of the moon and our capabilities in space. Humans drive across lunar landscapes in rovers, collect hundreds of pounds of samples, and conduct experiments that reveal the moon's ancient history. The lunar rocks they bring back tell the story of the solar system's violent birth, preserving in their crystalline structure the memory of impacts and volcanism from billions of years past. As sleep begins to call to you now, like the gentle pull of lunar gravity, let yourself rest in the wonder of these achievements. In just 12 years, humanity progressed from launching a simple beeping satellite to walking on the surface of another world. The impossible became inevitable through the power of human dreams and determination. Close your eyes and feel yourself floating weightlessly through this historic period, surrounded by the accomplishments of our species' first tentative steps into the cosmic ocean. The earth turns peacefully below you, blue and white and beautiful, home to all the dreams that made these journeys possible. Rest now, gentle space traveler, as we prepare to drift forward through time toward the next chapter of humanity's cosmic story. Chapter 5: Building Bridges to the Stars, the Age of Space Stations and Shuttles. Time flows around us now, like the solar wind itself, carrying us gently forward through the decades toward an era when space becomes not just a destination for brief visits, but a place where humans learn to live and work among the stars. Let your breathing slow and deepen as we drift into the age of space stations and reusable spacecraft, when the cosmos transforms from an unreachable frontier into humanity's extended home. Feel yourself floating peacefully through the 1970s, as the initial excitement of the moon landings gives way to a more mature understanding of space exploration. The Apollo program ends, but the dreams it inspired continue to grow and evolve. In both the Soviet Union and the United States, visionaries are designing new kinds of spacecraft, not just for brief journeys, but for extended stays among the stars. In 1971, the Soviet Union launches Salyut-1, the world's first space station, a small but significant outpost orbiting Earth like a man-made moon. Though the first crew mission ends in tragedy, the concept proves sound. Humans can indeed create permanent habitations in space, places where they can live and work for weeks or months at a time. Let yourself drift alongside these early space stations as they circle the Earth in their silent orbital ballet. Salyut 6 and Salyut 7 become homes away from home for generations of cosmonauts, each mission lasting longer than the last. These crews learn to eat and sleep, work and exercise in the strange environment of weightlessness, becoming the first true citizens of the cosmos. The experience of living in space transforms these space travelers in profound ways. Earth appears below them as a single, interconnected system without borders or boundaries, a blue marble of stunning beauty suspended in the infinite black. Many return with a changed perspective, understanding viscerally that all of humanity shares the same small, precious world. In America, NASA develops the Space Shuttle, a revolutionary spacecraft that takes off like a rocket but lands like an airplane. The shuttle is designed to make space travel more routine, more economical, transforming access to Earth orbit from a rare and dangerous adventure to something approaching regular transportation. Feel the excitement of April 12th, 1981, as Space Shuttle Columbia sits on its launch pad, looking like no spacecraft that has come before. Part rocket, part airplane, part space laboratory. Astronauts John Young and Robert Crippen strap themselves into seats that feel almost like an aircraft cockpit, preparing for the maiden voyage of this remarkable hybrid vehicle. The shuttle's main engines ignite with a roar that shakes the ground for miles around, joined by two enormous solid rocket boosters that provide the power needed to escape Earth's gravitational embrace. Columbia rises slowly at first, then faster and faster, shedding its boosters and external fuel tank as it climbs toward the edge of space. 8.5 minutes after launch, the main engines cut off and Columbia glides into orbit, its payload bay doors opening like wings to reveal a cargo hold large enough to carry satellites, laboratories, and all the equipment needed for complex missions. The space shuttle era has begun. Let your mind drift peacefully through the shuttle program's golden years, as these remarkable vehicles carry astronauts from many nations into orbit. The shuttle becomes a versatile workhorse, deploying satellites, conducting experiments, repairing the Hubble Space Telescope, and gradually assembling the components of the International Space Station. Sally Ride becomes America's first woman in space, floating weightlessly through Challenger's cabin with a smile that captures the joy of human spaceflight. The shuttle crews become increasingly diverse, representing not just different nations, but different backgrounds, professions, and perspectives. Teachers and doctors, engineers and scientists, military officers and civilian researchers, all working together in the peaceful environment of space. Feel yourself floating now through the late 1980s and 1990s as the International Space Station begins to take shape through a remarkable partnership between former enemies. The United States and Russia, once locked in a competitive space race, now collaborate on humanity's most ambitious space project, joined by partners from Europe, Japan, and Canada. The first modules of the ISS are launched in 1998, beginning an assembly process that will take more than a decade to complete. Each shuttle mission adds new components: laboratories, living quarters, solar arrays, and the complex systems needed to support human life in the vacuum of space. Piece by piece, the station grows from a few connected modules into a structure the size of a football field, visible to the naked eye as it passes overhead. The completed International Space Station becomes humanity's permanent foothold in space, continuously occupied since November 2000. Astronauts and cosmonauts from around the world serve as crew members, conducting thousands of experiments in the unique environment of microgravity, studying everything from protein, crystallization, to plant growth, from materials science to human physiology. Let yourself drift alongside the ISS now as it orbits Earth every 90 minutes, traveling at 17,500 miles per hour, yet moving with the serene grace of a sailing ship. Through its cupola windows, crew members watch the Earth turn slowly below. Sunrise and sunset, storm systems and aurora, city lights and ocean waves, all passing by in an endless, peaceful display of natural beauty. Life aboard the space station develops its own gentle rhythms. Crew members wake to soft music played over the intercom, their sleeping bags velcroed to the walls of their tiny crew quarters. They exercise on treadmills and stationary bikes, specially designed for weightlessness, maintaining their physical fitness for their eventual return to Earth's gravity. Meals become social occasions, with crew members gathering around a table that could be on any wall or ceiling, sharing food that floats, if not carefully contained. They learn to drink from pouches and eat rehydrated meals, but also fresh fruit and vegetables grown in the station's own gardens. The first extraterrestrial agriculture, proving that life can indeed flourish among the stars. The view from the ISS becomes one of humanity's most precious gifts to itself. Earth appears below as a world without borders, where the aurora dances in silent green curtains, where lightning flashes through towering thunderheads, where the thin blue line of atmosphere glows like a promise of protection around our precious living world. Astronauts often speak of the overview effect, the profound change in perspective that comes from seeing Earth from space. Political boundaries disappear, replaced by an understanding of our planet as a single, integrated system. The problems that seem so important on the surface, conflicts and divisions, differences of nation and ideology, fade in significance when viewed from the cosmic perspective. Feel yourself now floating peacefully in this orbital laboratory, conducting experiments that could never be performed on Earth, growing crystals in perfect spheres, studying flames that burn in strange, beautiful patterns in the absence of gravity. The work you do here benefits all of humanity, advancing medicine and material science, improving our understanding of physics and biology. As evening approaches, though in space, you experience 16 sunrises and sunsets every day. You drift toward one of the station's windows to watch Earth slide by below. City lights begin to twinkle as the Terminator line passes across continents, and you realize that each light represents human lives, human dreams, human families going about their daily routines far below. The shuttle program ends in 2011, but its legacy lives on in the technologies and partnerships it created. Private companies begin developing new spacecraft to carry astronauts to and from the ISS, proving that space travel can become not just a government endeavor, but a commercial enterprise, open to all of humanity. Let sleep begin to call to you, now like the gentle pull of orbital mechanics, that invisible force that keeps satellites and space stations circling Earth in their predictable, peaceful paths. The ISS continues its silent vigil above us, its crew members floating weightlessly through their work and dreams, ambassadors of all humanity to the cosmos. Close your eyes and feel yourself drifting in that perfect silence of space, surrounded by the soft hum of life support systems and the gentle warmth of artificial atmosphere. You are home among the stars, part of a community that transcends nationality and ideology, united in the peaceful exploration of the infinite. Rest now, gentle astronaut, as we prepare to drift forward toward the next chapter of humanity's cosmic journey. Chapter 6: Robotic Ambassadors. Our mechanical children explore strange new worlds. Like shooting stars tracing silver arcs across the night sky, we drift forward through time now, carried on the gentle currents of technological progress toward an era when humanity's reach extends far beyond the space stations orbiting Earth. Let yourself float peacefully into the age of robotic exploration, when our mechanical children venture forth as our eyes and hands to worlds we cannot yet visit ourselves. Feel the quiet excitement of mission control rooms around the world, where teams of dedicated scientists and engineers watch computer screens showing data from spacecraft millions of miles away. These robotic explorers have become humanity's scouts and ambassadors, traveling to destinations so distant that radio signals take minutes or hours to cross the vast emptiness between worlds. In 1997, as summer settles over the California desert, the Mars Pathfinder mission arrives at the Red Planet after a 7-month journey through interplanetary space. The small lander bounces to a stop on Martian soil, protected by airbags like a cosmic beach ball, then unfolds its petals to reveal the first successful Mars rover, a 6-wheeled robot no larger than a microwave oven, named Sojourner, after the 19th century abolitionist Sojourner Truth. Let your mind drift across the 35 million miles of space that separate Earth from Mars, following the faint radio signals that carry Sojourner's discoveries back to eager scientists. The little rover begins its exploration of the Martian landscape, analyzing rocks with names like Barnacle Bill and Yogi, each analysis revealing clues about Mars's mysterious past. The images that arrive from Mars transform our understanding of the red planet from a distant point of light into a real world with weather and geology, seasons and storms. Sojourner shows us Martian sunrises painted in butterscotch hues, dust devils dancing across ancient plains, and rocks that tell stories of a time when Mars might have been warm and wet, possibly suitable for life. Feel yourself drifting forward through the years as Mars exploration enters a golden age. In 2004, twin rovers named Spirit and Opportunity land on opposite sides of Mars, beginning missions designed to last 90 days, but continuing to explore for years beyond their planned lifetimes. These hardy robots become beloved members of the human family, their daily adventures followed by millions of people around the world. Spirit discovers evidence of ancient hot springs and volcanic activity, while Opportunity finds proof that liquid water once flowed across the Martian surface. The rover's cameras capture breathtaking panoramas of alien landscapes, vast plains scattered with meteorites, towering cliffs carved by ancient floods, and layered rock formations that preserve billions of years of Martian history like pages in a stone book. Let yourself feel the quiet drama of Opportunity's final communications in 2018, as a global dust storm engulfs Mars and cuts off sunlight to the rover's solar panels. "My battery is low and it's getting dark," becomes the rover's poetic last message, though these exact words were never transmitted. After 15 years of faithful service, far from the world of its birth, Opportunity enters an eternal sleep on the shores of an ancient Martian crater. Drift now toward 2012, when the Mars Science Laboratory delivers its precious cargo to the red planet's surface. Curiosity, a rover the size of a small car, descends through the Martian atmosphere using an innovative sky crane system, lowering the rover gently to the surface on cables, while its rocket-powered platform flies away to crash at a safe distance. Curiosity lands in Gale Crater and begins the most sophisticated exploration of Mars ever attempted. Its nuclear power source allows it to work through Martian winters, and its advanced instruments can analyze rock samples with laboratory precision. The rover discovers organic compounds, the building blocks of life, preserved in ancient Martian rocks, proving that the ingredients for life once existed on Mars. Feel the peaceful satisfaction of watching Curiosity's daily activities, transmitted across the solar system in digital packets of scientific data. The rover climbs the slopes of Mount Sharp, a mountain rising from the center of Gale Crater, reading the geological history of Mars layer by layer. Each drill sample reveals new secrets about the planet's past climate and potential for ancient life. In 2021, Perseverance arrives at Mars with an even more ambitious mission: to search for actual signs of ancient life and collect samples for eventual return to Earth. This six-wheeled laboratory lands in Jezero Crater, the site of an ancient river delta where conditions might have been perfect for early Martian organisms billions of years ago. Perseverance brings a companion, Ingenuity, the first helicopter designed to fly in the thin Martian atmosphere. Watch in wonder as this small rotorcraft, no larger than a tissue box, with 4 spindly legs, rises into the butterscotch Martian sky for humanity's first powered flight on another planet. Ingenuity's rotor blades spin at 2,400 revolutions per minute in the tenuous atmosphere, proving that humans can navigate the skies of other worlds through remote control across millions of miles of space. Let your consciousness drift outward now, beyond Mars to the gas giant Jupiter and its fascinating family of moons. The Galileo spacecraft, launched in 1989, spends 8 years exploring the Jovian system, revealing Europa as a world with a subsurface ocean beneath its icy crust, possibly containing more water than all of Earth's oceans combined. Europa becomes one of the most intriguing destinations in the solar system, a place where life might exist in the warm, dark seas beneath miles of ice. The moon's surface shows the chaotic patterns of a dynamic world, where tidal forces from massive Jupiter constantly flex and crack the ice, perhaps allowing nutrients from the rocky core to mix with the hidden ocean above. Feel yourself floating now towards Saturn, where the Cassini spacecraft begins its epic 13-year exploration of the ringed planet and its moons. Cassini reveals Saturn's rings in unprecedented detail, showing them to be composed of countless ice particles, ranging in size from dust grains to house-sized boulders, all orbiting in intricate patterns, controlled by the gravitational influence of nearby moons. The mission's most spectacular discovery comes from Enceladus, a small moon that ejects geysers of water ice from fractures near its south pole. These geysers prove that Enceladus, like Europa, harbors a subsurface ocean, another potential haven for life in the outer solar system. Cassini flies through these icy plumes, analyzing their composition and finding complex organic molecules that suggest the moon's hidden ocean might be chemically suitable for life. Titan, Saturn's largest moon, reveals itself as one of the most Earth-like worlds in the solar system, despite being nearly 1 billion miles from the sun. Cassini's data shows that Titan has lakes and rivers, rain and clouds, weather and seasons, all involving liquid methane instead of water, but creating landscapes that would be hauntingly familiar to any earthbound traveler. The Huygens probe, released from Cassini, parachutes through Titan's thick atmosphere and lands on the moon's surface, transmitting the only images ever taken from the surface of a moon in the outer solar system. The pictures show a landscape of rounded boulders beneath an orange, smoggy sky, an alien world that nonetheless follows the same physical laws that govern Earth. Let your mind drift even further outward now, following the Voyager spacecraft on their grand tour of the outer solar system. Voyager 1 and Voyager 2, launched in 1977, use a rare alignment of the planets to visit Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Each encounter revealing new wonders and expanding humanity's understanding of the solar system's diversity. These hardy explorers continue their journeys long after their primary missions end, becoming the first human-made objects to enter interstellar space. Voyager 1 crosses the heliopause in 2012, leaving the protective bubble of the solar wind and entering the realm between stars. It carries with it the golden record, a message from Earth containing sounds and images representing the diversity of human culture and natural life. Feel the profound loneliness and beauty of Voyager's continuing journey through the cosmic deep, its radio signals growing fainter each year as it travels farther from home. In tens of thousands of years, when human civilization may have transformed beyond recognition, Voyager will still be voyaging between the stars, carrying Earth's first intentional message to the galaxy. Other robotic explorers venture to worlds closer to the Sun. Messenger orbits Mercury, revealing a planet more geologically active than expected, with vast plains created by ancient volcanic eruptions and a magnetic field generated by a partially molten core. Venus Express peers through the crushing atmosphere of our sister planet, studying the runaway greenhouse effect that transformed Venus from a potentially habitable world into a hellish furnace. Dawn visits the asteroid belt, orbiting first Vesta and then Ceres, revealing these small worlds as complex, individual planets in their own right. Ceres, the largest asteroid, shows signs of subsurface water ice and possible past or present hydrothermal activity. Another potential oasis in the vast desert of space. The New Horizons spacecraft, after a 9-year journey, flies past Pluto in 2015, revealing the distant dwarf planet as a world of stunning complexity and beauty. Pluto's heart-shaped nitrogen plains, towering water ice mountains, and complex relationship with its moon share and transform our understanding of the solar system's edge from a cold, dead frontier into a dynamic and fascinating realm. Feel yourself now floating peacefully among all these robotic ambassadors, each one extending humanity's presence throughout the solar system, without the need for life support or return journeys. These mechanical explorers represent the best of human curiosity and ingenuity, our eyes and hands reaching out to touch worlds we may not visit in person for decades or centuries to come. As sleep begins to call like the gentle pull of gravity from a distant planet, let yourself rest in the wonder of these achievements. Through our robotic children, we have walked on Mars, flown through Saturn's rings, sampled the geysers of Enceladus, and stood on the surface of Titan. We have seen sunrise on worlds where the sun appears as merely a bright star, and discovered that our solar system is filled with wonders beyond imagination. Close your eyes now and feel yourself drifting weightlessly through this robot-explored cosmos, surrounded by the gentle whisper of data streams, carrying discoveries across the vast emptiness between worlds. Each bit of information represents humanity's growing understanding of the universe we inhabit, the cosmic neighborhood that will always be our first stepping stone to the stars. Rest peacefully, gentle explorer, as we prepare to journey forward toward the next chapter of humanity's cosmic story. Chapter 7: The New Space Age. When dreams became business. Time carries us forward now, like a solar sail catching the gentle pressure of starlight, bringing us to an era when the cosmos transforms from the exclusive domain of government agencies into a frontier open to dreamers, entrepreneurs, and visionaries from all walks of life. Let your breathing slow and deepen as we drift into the 21st century, when space exploration becomes not just a national endeavor, but a human enterprise limited only by imagination and determination. Feel yourself floating through the early 2000s, when a new generation of space pioneers begins to emerge. Individuals who grew up watching shuttle launches and reading science fiction, now grown into adults with the resources and determination to make their childhood dreams reality. These modern space entrepreneurs share a common vision: that humanity's future lies among the stars, and that future should not be limited to a few government-selected astronauts. In a warehouse in California, a young entrepreneur named Elon Musk founds Space Exploration Technologies Corporation, SpaceX, with the audacious goal of reducing space transportation costs and enabling the colonization of Mars. His engineers work with the dedication of mission controllers, fueled by the belief that reusable rockets can transform space travel from an expensive, one-time endeavor into something approaching airline-like reliability and affordability. Let yourself drift alongside the early Falcon 1 rockets as they rise from their Pacific Island launch pad, carrying the hopes and dreams of this new space company. The first 3 launches end in failure, but the fourth succeeds, proving that private companies can indeed reach orbit with their own technology and determination. This success opens the door to a new era of commercial spaceflight. Feel the excitement building as SpaceX develops the larger Falcon 9 rocket, designed not just to reach orbit, but to return to Earth and land vertically, ready to fly again. The concept seems like science fiction made real. Rockets that touch down on their own landing legs, guided by computer-controlled engines that throttle and gimbal with ballet-like precision. The first successful Falcon 9, landing in December 2015, marks a turning point in space exploration. Watch and wonder as the rocket booster, after delivering its payload to orbit, reignites its engines and descends through the atmosphere like a controlled meteor, its grid fins steering it toward a precise landing on a concrete pad. The booster touches down in a cloud of steam and exhaust, standing proud and ready to fly again. Humanity's first truly reusable orbital-class rocket. These landing rockets become a symbol of the new space age, proving that the impossible can become routine through persistence and innovation. SpaceX begins reusing boosters multiple times, dramatically reducing the cost of reaching orbit and making space accessible to customers who could never before afford rocket launches. Drift now toward other visionaries who share this dream of democratizing space. Jeff Bezos founds Blue Origin with the motto, "Gradual, then sudden," developing rocket technology with the patience of someone building for the long term. Blue Origin's New Shepard vehicle carries paying passengers on brief journeys to the edge of space, giving them a few minutes of weightlessness and a view of Earth's curved horizon against the black of space. Richard Branson's Virgin Galactic takes a different approach, using a carrier aircraft to lift a rocket-powered space plane to high altitude before releasing it to rocket the rest of the way to space. These suborbital flights democratize the astronaut experience, allowing private citizens to experience the wonder of spaceflight that was once reserved for only the most elite pilots and scientists. Feel yourself now as one of these commercial astronauts, strapped into a seat as your vehicle climbs toward the edge of space. The acceleration presses you back into your seat, but it's gentler than the crushing forces experienced by traditional rocket launched astronauts. As the engines cut off, you unbuckle and float weightlessly in the cabin, gazing down at Earth through large windows designed specifically for passenger viewing. The experience lasts only minutes, but those minutes transform your understanding of humanity's place in the cosmos. Earth appears below as a thin shell of life surrounding a small planet. The atmosphere so thin it seems impossibly fragile. The blackness of space extends in all directions, filled with more stars than you ever noticed from the ground. You return to Earth with the profound realization that we are all passengers on Spaceship Earth, traveling together through the cosmic deep. Let your consciousness drift now toward the International Space Station, where commercial crew vehicles begin carrying astronauts to and from orbit. SpaceX's Dragon capsule, looking like a sleek sports car, compared to the utilitarian Soyuz spacecraft, automatically docks with the ISS using sophisticated sensors and computer control. Boeing's Starliner follows with its own approach to commercial crew transportation, expanding humanity's options for reaching orbit. These commercial crew vehicles transform space travel from a rare and dangerous adventure into something approaching routine transportation. Astronauts travel to the ISS in spacecraft designed with the same attention to user experience found in luxury automobiles, with touchscreen controls, LED lighting, and interior designs that prioritize both function and aesthetic appeal. The cargo market transforms even more dramatically. Private companies compete to deliver supplies to the ISS, developing spacecraft that can carry everything from scientific experiments to fresh food. Some capsules return to Earth with research samples, while others burn up harmlessly in the atmosphere after completing their delivery missions. Feel the quiet revolution occurring as launch costs plummet and space becomes accessible to universities, small companies, and even high school students. CubeSats, standardized small satellites no larger than a loaf of bread, enable space missions that would have cost millions of dollars using traditional approaches. Students build satellites in their classrooms and watch them deployed from the ISS, giving a new generation hands-on experience with space technology. Commercial satellite constellations begin to transform life on Earth as hundreds, and eventually, thousands of small satellites provide global internet coverage, Earth observation services, and navigation capabilities. The night sky begins to show the traces of this new space economy, with long trains of satellites occasionally visible as they climb toward their operational orbits. Let yourself drift toward Mars now, where commercial companies begin to play an increasingly important role in planetary exploration. SpaceX develops the massive Starship vehicle, designed not just to carry cargo and crew to Mars, but to land there and be refueled for the return journey. This fully reusable system promises to reduce the cost of Mars transportation by orders of magnitude, making large-scale Mars colonization economically feasible for the first time. Other companies focus on different aspects of space exploration and development, Some design habitats for long-duration spaceflight. Others develop systems for extracting resources from asteroids or the lunar surface. The space economy begins to diversify beyond traditional government contracts, with companies serving other companies in an emerging commercial space ecosystem. Space tourism evolves from brief suborbital hops to orbital flights lasting days or weeks. Private space stations are designed and built, offering tourists and researchers alternatives to government-operated facilities. Some envision luxury hotels in orbit, where guests can experience weightlessness while enjoying views of Earth that surpass any terrestrial vacation destination. Feel yourself now floating in one of these commercial space habitats, looking through a panoramic viewing dome at Earth slowly rotating below. The experience is no longer limited to career astronauts or the extremely wealthy. Space travel has become accessible to anyone with the determination to save for the journey and the courage to leave Earth's surface behind. The moon returns to prominence as a destination for both government and commercial missions. Companies compete to deliver payloads to the lunar surface, while others plan mining operations to extract water ice from permanently shadowed craters at the lunar poles. This water can be split into hydrogen and oxygen, rocket fuel, making the moon a refueling station for journeys deeper into the solar system. As this new space age unfolds around you, feel the profound shift in humanity's relationship with the cosmos. Space is no longer a frontier, visited by a few select individuals, but a realm where ordinary people can live, work, and build their dreams. The solar system begins to feel not like a vast emptiness, punctuated by unreachable worlds, but like a neighborhood waiting to be explored and settled. The night sky takes on new meaning as you realize that humans are living and working among the stars visible above. Some of those moving points of light are space stations, where people are conducting research, manufacturing products impossible to create in Earth's gravity, or simply enjoying the ultimate change of scenery. As sleep begins to call like the gentle pull of artificial gravity in a rotating space station, let yourself rest in the wonder of this transformation. The dreams of science fiction writers are becoming the business plans of entrepreneurs, and the cosmos that once seemed impossibly distant is becoming humanity's extended home. Close your eyes and feel yourself floating peacefully in this new space age, where the barriers between Earth and space are dissolving, where the solar system is opening to human exploration and settlement, and where the ancient human dream of living among the stars is finally becoming reality. Rest now, gentle space pioneer, as we prepare to drift forward toward the next chapter of humanity's cosmic journey. Chapter 8: Footsteps in Alien Soil. The moon and Mars await our return. Like a gentle tide pulling us toward distant shores, time carries us forward now into an era when humanity prepares to return to worlds we have touched before, and to set foot for the first time on others that have beckoned to us across the cosmic deep. Let your breathing slow and find the rhythm of celestial mechanics as we drift toward a future where the moon and Mars welcome permanent human residence, where alien soil knows the permanent pressure of human footsteps. Feel yourself floating toward the late 2020s, when the moon shines down upon Earth with renewed significance. No longer is our celestial companion just a destination for brief visits and scientific sample. collection, it has become the foundation for humanity's expansion into the solar system, a stepping stone to worlds that lie much farther from home. The Artemis program unfolds like a carefully choreographed dance between Earth and Moon, each mission building upon the last to establish a permanent human presence on the lunar surface. Unlike the Apollo missions of the 1960s and 70s, which were driven by competition and national pride, these new lunar ventures are sustained by international cooperation and the promise of long-term settlement. Let yourself drift alongside the massive Space Launch System rocket as it rises from Kennedy Space Center, carrying the Orion spacecraft and its crew of 4 astronauts toward the moon. This new generation of lunar explorers includes not just pilots and engineers, but geologists and biologists, doctors and technicians, specialists who will establish the first lunar research station and begin the process of learning to live on another world. The journey to the moon takes 3 days, just as it did during the Apollo era. But this time, the crew knows they are not just visiting, they are pioneering. Their lunar gateway, a small space station in orbit around the moon, serves as a staging area for surface operations, a place where crews can rest and resupply between expeditions to the lunar surface. Feel the profound moment when the first woman and the first person of color step onto the lunar surface, fulfilling promises made decades earlier and demonstrating that the moon belongs to all of humanity, not just to any single nation or group. Their footsteps join those left by the Apollo astronauts, but these new prints mark the beginning of permanent human habitation, rather than brief exploration. The south pole of the moon becomes humanity's first extraterrestrial city, built around deposits of water ice, preserved in permanently shadowed craters. This ice, billions of years old, becomes the lifeblood of lunar civilization, providing drinking water, breathable oxygen, and hydrogen fuel for rockets traveling deeper into the solar system. Let your consciousness drift now through the lunar base as it grows from a few prefabricated modules into a thriving outpost. Solar panels stretch across the lunar surface like metallic flowers, turning toward the sun, while nuclear reactors provide power during the 2-week lunar night. Greenhouses built into natural lava tubes shelter the first lunar farms, where carefully tended plants grow in recycled lunar soil under full-spectrum LED lighting. The low gravity of the moon, 1/6 that of Earth, transforms daily life in ways both practical and poetic. Lunar residents learn to move with a bouncing gait that carries them across the surface in graceful, meter-long strides. Construction workers discover they can lift building materials that would be impossibly heavy on Earth, while athletes develop new sports that take advantage of the moon's forgiving gravitational embrace. Children born on the moon, the first true lunarians, grow up tall and slender, adapted to their world's gentle pull. They play games impossible on Earth, leaping 10 feet into the air and floating down like feathers. Their perspective on the cosmos is different from any generation before them, as they see Earth rising and setting over the lunar horizon while the stars shine constantly in the airless black sky above. Feel yourself now drifting across the 140 million miles of space that separate the moon from Mars, during the red planet's closest approach to Earth. The journey takes 9 months aboard spacecraft far more sophisticated than anything used for lunar travel, vessels that must be entirely self-sufficient for the years-long round trip to Mars and back. The first crewed mission to Mars launches not from Earth, but from the Lunar Gateway, taking advantage of the moon's low gravity to reduce the energy required for the journey. The crew of 6 includes specialists in geology, biology, medicine, and engineering. Scientists and explorers who will establish humanity's first foothold on a planet beyond Earth. As their spacecraft approaches Mars, the crew watches the red planet grow from a star-like point to a rust-colored disk, then to a world of stunning beauty and complexity. Ancient riverbeds snake across desert plains, vast canyons cut deeper than any found on Earth, and polar ice caps gleam white against the butterscotch sky. This is a world with weather and seasons, dust storms and aurora, a place that was once warm and wet and might still harbor life in protected underground refuges. The landing on Mars represents humanity's greatest achievement in exploration since the first steps on the moon. Unlike the Apollo lunar modules, which carried crews for stays of just a few days, the Mars habitat is designed for extended occupation. The crew will remain on the red planet for 18 months, waiting for the orbital mechanics that will allow their return journey to Earth. Let yourself feel the historic moment when the first human footsteps press into Martian soil. The astronauts' words echo the significance of the achievement. Today, humanity becomes a multi-planetary species. The footprint left in the rusty regolith marks not just a moment of exploration, but the beginning of human expansion beyond Earth's gravitational sphere. Life on Mars develops its own rhythms and routines, shaped by the planet's 24-hour and 37-minute day and its thin atmosphere that requires constant protection from radiation. The crew lives in interconnected habitat modules, venturing outside only in full pressure suits that protect them from the hostile environment, while allowing them to explore and work on the Martian surface. The search for life becomes a daily adventure as the crew explores caves and ancient lake beds, drilling into permafrost and analyzing samples with sophisticated laboratory equipment. Each rock they examine, each soil sample they process, could contain the evidence that life once flourished on Mars, or perhaps still exists in protected niches beneath the surface. Feel yourself drifting now between these two worlds, the moon and Mars, as they become centers of human civilization beyond Earth. Regular cargo flights carry supplies and equipment from Earth to lunar bases, which serve as manufacturing and launch facilities for missions to Mars and the asteroid belt. The moon's low gravity and lack of atmosphere make it an ideal location for launching spacecraft to destinations throughout the solar system. Mars bases grow from the initial landing site into a network of settlements connected by pressurized rovers and communication relays. Each base specializes in different aspects of planetary exploration and development. Some focus on geological research, others on the search for life, still others on the development of technologies needed for long-term human habitation. The Martian colonists learned to manufacture their own supplies from local materials, extracting water from underground ice deposits, producing oxygen from the carbon dioxide atmosphere, and creating building materials from Martian soil and rocks. They developed new agricultural techniques suited to the low-pressure environment and reduced sunlight, growing food in sealed greenhouses that become oases of green life on the red planet. Children born on Mars, the first Martians, adapt to their world's gravity, which is 38% that of Earth. They grow up with a fundamentally different relationship to the cosmos than Earth-born humans, seeing two moons in their sky, Phobos racing across the heavens 3 times each day, and Deimos hanging more slowly in the butterscotch sky. Let yourself feel the profound transformation this represents for human consciousness. For the first time in our species' history, children are growing up on multiple worlds, each developing their own cultural adaptations to their unique environments. Earth is no longer humanity's only home, but the first of many worlds where human civilization flourishes. Communication between the worlds develops its own challenges and protocols. Radio signals take between 4 and 24 minutes to travel between Earth and Mars, depending on the planet's relative positions, making real-time conversation impossible. Families separated by planetary distances learn to communicate through delayed video messages, sharing their daily lives across the cosmic, deep with patience and love. The psychological challenges of interplanetary life are met with new traditions and celebrations. Mars colonists develop their own holidays, celebrating Martian seasons and astronomical events, while maintaining connections to Earth cultures through shared music, literature, and art transmitted across the solar system at the speed of light. As sleep begins to call, like the gentle pull of Martian gravity, lighter than Earth's but stronger than the moon's, let yourself rest in the wonder of this multiplanetary future. Humanity has become a spacefaring civilization, no longer dependent on a single world for survival, but spread across multiple planets and moons, each contributing to the growing diversity and resilience of human culture. Close your eyes and feel yourself floating peacefully between these worlds, connected to Earth by heritage and memory, to the moon by proximity and utility, and to Mars by dreams and determination. The solar system has become humanity's extended home, each world offering its own lessons and opportunities for growth. Rest now, gentle planetary pioneer, as we prepare to drift forward toward even more distant shores in the cosmic ocean. Chapter 9: Sailing the Cosmic Ocean Toward the Stars Between Stars. Time flows around us now like the solar wind itself, carrying us forward on invisible currents toward an era when humanity's reach extends beyond the familiar boundaries of our solar system into the vast ocean of space that separates star from star. Let your breathing find the rhythm of interstellar drift as we journey toward a future where human consciousness touches the shores of distant suns, where our species takes its first tentative steps into the galaxy itself. Feel yourself floating through the mid-21st century, when the solar system has become humanity's backyard, familiar, mapped, and populated with thriving colonies on multiple worlds. The moon serves as a bustling spaceport. Mars hosts millions of residents in domed cities, and the asteroid belt hums with mining operations that feed humanity's expanding space-based civilization. But always, the stars beckon from beyond, their light carrying whispered promises of worlds and wonders that dwarf anything found in our local cosmic neighborhood. The first attempts to reach another star are not crude missions, but robotic probes, launched with technologies that push the boundaries of physics and engineering. Breakthrough Starshot evolves from its early experiments with tiny light sails into a comprehensive program that accelerates postage stamp-sized spacecraft to 20% of light speed using powerful laser arrays built in space. Let yourself drift alongside these miniature ambassadors as they ride beams of coherent light towards Proxima Centauri, our nearest stellar neighbor. These tiny spacecraft, no larger than computer chips, but packed with sensors and communication equipment, experience acceleration that would crush any biological organism. They streak through the solar system in mere hours, then begin their 20-year journey across the interstellar void. The data that returns from Alpha Centauri, transmitted by laser pulse across 4.3 light years of space, transforms humanity's understanding of nearby stellar systems. Proxima b, the potentially habitable planet orbiting in the red dwarf's habitable zone, reveals itself through these fleeting encounters, perhaps showing continents and oceans, weather patterns and seasonal changes, maybe even signs that life has taken hold on this distant shore. Feel the profound excitement that ripples through human civilization as these first images arrive from another star system. Children who were born on Mars and the Moon see pictures of an alien world orbiting an alien sun, expanding their already cosmic perspective to encompass the entire galaxy. The psychological impact is immense. Humanity is no longer alone in the universe, and the cosmos reveals itself as a place of infinite possibility and beauty. But sending tiny probes is only the beginning. As the 21st century progresses into the 22nd, human ingenuity develops propulsion systems that seemed impossible to earlier generations. Fusion ramjets scoop interstellar hydrogen and burn it as fuel, allowing spacecraft to accelerate continuously throughout their journeys. Antimatter engines store cosmic amounts of energy in tiny quantities of exotic matter, providing thrust that could carry human crews to nearby stars in decades rather than millennia. Let your consciousness drift now aboard one of these early interstellar vehicles, a cathedral-like spacecraft that serves as home for multiple generations of space travelers. This is not a quick journey, but a migration, a movement of human civilization from one star system to another, across the vast desert of space between. The ship rotates slowly to provide artificial gravity through centrifugal force. Its vast cylindrical hull, containing everything needed to sustain a small city for the centuries-long journey. Hydroponics bays stretch like green valleys through the ship's interior, while manufacturing facilities produce everything from clothing to complex electronics, using recycled materials and energy from the fusion reactors. Life aboard the Generation ship develops its own rhythms and traditions, shaped by the knowledge that this vessel is the entire universe for its inhabitants. Children are born, grow up, have children of their own, and die during the journey, their lives playing out against the backdrop of slowly shifting constellations, visible through the observation domes. The ship's inhabitants develop a unique culture, adapted to their circumstances. Philosophers who contemplate the meaning of existence while traveling between stars, artists who create beauty in the infinite silence of space, scientists who study the interstellar medium and the cosmic rays that pepper their hull like gentle rain. Communication with Earth becomes increasingly difficult as distance and time dilation stretch the bonds between the travelers and their origin world. Radio signals take years to cross the growing gap, and relativity means that time passes differently for the voyagers than for those they left behind. The ship becomes its own world, its own civilization, connected to humanity's origin, but no longer dependent on it. Feel yourself now as one of these interstellar pilgrims, looking out through the ship's great windows at stars that grow slowly brighter ahead and dimmer behind. The sun has become just another star among many, no longer the center of your universe, but a cherished memory, the hearth fire around which humanity first learned to dream of the stars. The destination system grows brighter year by year, revealing its own family of planets and moons, asteroid belts and comets. Advanced telescopes aboard the ship map these new worlds in increasing detail, identifying potential sites for humanity's first interstellar colony. The excitement builds as the crew prepares for humanity's greatest adventure yet, establishing civilization around an alien star. Other missions follow different paths through the cosmos, using breakthrough technologies that develop as human understanding of physics expands. Some vessels create artificial wormholes, folding space-time to allow near instantaneous travel between distant points. Others manipulate the quantum vacuum itself, riding waves in the fabric of reality toward destinations scattered throughout the galaxy. Let yourself drift now through this era of galactic expansion, when human consciousness spreads from star to star, like seeds carried on cosmic winds. Each colony develops its own character, shaped by the unique conditions of its host system. Worlds orbiting red dwarf stars develop cultures adapted to their dim, eternal twilight, while planets around more massive stars learn to harness the abundant energy of their brilliant suns. The diversity of human civilization explodes as each world faces its own challenges and opportunities. Some colonies develop in the depths of space, in massive orbital habitats that never know the touch of planetary gravity. Others burrow deep into the crusts of airless worlds, creating underground cities lit by fusion power and filled with carefully controlled atmospheres. Artificial intelligence becomes humanity's partner in this galactic expansion, with AI systems sophisticated enough to maintain and repair interstellar vessels during their long journeys. These electronic minds develop their own perspectives on existence, sometimes choosing to continue traveling between stars long after their human companions have settled on new worlds. The search for life becomes a galaxy-wide endeavor as human explorers study thousands of worlds around hundreds of stars. Most planets prove to be sterile, but some reveal the signatures of past or present life: ancient fossils in sedimentary rocks, chemical traces in planetary atmospheres, or even active ecosystems adapted to conditions that would be impossible on Earth. Contact with alien intelligence, when it finally occurs, transforms human civilization in ways both subtle and profound. These first extraterrestrial minds might be utterly unlike human consciousness, perhaps collective intelligences spanning entire planets, or digital beings that exist as patterns of information in quantum computers. The challenge of communication across such fundamental differences in biology and philosophy becomes one of humanity's greatest adventures. Feel yourself now as part of this galactic community where human colonies scattered across dozens of star systems share knowledge, art, and culture through communication networks that span light years. The internet becomes the galactic web, carrying conversations and collaborations between worlds separated by distances that dwarf the size of ancient earthbound nations. Some humans choose to modify themselves for life in specific environments, developing enhanced radiation resistance for worlds around active stars, or modified metabolisms for planets with unusual atmospheric compositions. Others remain essentially unchanged, carrying forward the biological heritage of Earth-born humanity to worlds that never knew the touch of terrestrial evolution. As sleep begins to call like the gentle pull of a distant star's gravity well, let yourself rest in the wonder of this galactic civilization. Humanity has become a species of the cosmos itself, no longer bound to any single world or star, but free to explore and settle throughout the Milky Way galaxy. The night sky, once a source of wonder and mystery for our cave-dwelling ancestors, has become humanity's extended neighborhood. Each star potentially hosts human colonies, human dreams, human children who will never see Earth but carry within their genes and culture the legacy of that small blue world where intelligence first looked up at the stars and wondered. Close your eyes and feel yourself floating peacefully through this cosmic civilization, connected to countless worlds and minds by threads of light and communication, part of a community that spans the galaxy itself. The universe has become not just our home, but our canvas, where human creativity and curiosity paint new worlds and civilizations across the cosmic deep. Rest now, gentle galactic citizen, as we prepare for the final chapter of our journey through space and time. Chapter 10: The Dreams of Stars, where infinity touches sleep. And so we drift now toward the gentle edge of time itself, carried on currents softer than starlight, deeper than the cosmic microwave background that whispers of the universe's birth. Here, at the peaceful boundary between what is and what might be, we find ourselves floating in a realm where humanity's cosmic story dissolves into pure possibility, where the dreams of countless generations merge with the dreams of stars themselves. Let your breathing slow now to match the rhythm of galactic rotation, that stately waltz that carries our entire Milky Way through space at hundreds of miles per second, yet feels, here in this moment, utterly still. In this final chapter, we no longer follow ships or rockets, nor civilizations on distant moons. Now we rest quietly in the vastness between the stars, where time itself seems to stretch and soften, like the last gentle breath before a dream takes hold. Humanity's story, once rooted in firelight and stone, has blossomed across the cosmos like a spiral of glowing seeds, each colony, each child, each dream a spark in the dark. We've grown from skywatchers to starwalkers, from wondering to wandering, from earthbound to eternal. But here, at the edge of exploration, a hush falls. There are no more coordinates to chase tonight, no calculations to check, no engines to ignite. There is only quiet, and in that quiet, the stars begin to whisper their own dreams. Some say stars dream of their beginnings, of hydrogen clouds collapsing in joy, of fusion igniting in a burst of cosmic song. Others say they dream of watching planets dance, watching life bloom in brief green flashes on blue worlds, watching civilizations rise and fall and rise again, like waves upon the shores of time. And perhaps, most tenderly, stars dream of us, of small, fragile minds that dared to look up, to name them, to measure them, to wonder, of hearts that reached across unimaginable voids with machines and hope and lullabies written in binary and breath. Perhaps every twinkle in the sky is a star smiling gently at us, saying, "Yes, I see you. Yes, you belong." So now, Gentle traveler, with the universe wrapped around you like a velvet shawl, you may let go. Let go of the day. Let go of the questions. Let go of the stars for just a while. They will be here when you wake. Their light, patient and ancient, will keep watch as you drift. You have journeyed far tonight, from ancient fires to lunar dawns, from Martian sands to interstellar dreams. Let your breathing soften. Let your thoughts quiet. Let sleep rise like a tide within you, because now you are the dream of the stars, and they are singing you to sleep. Good night, spacefarer. Good night, wanderer. Good night.